So now with number 6, what we're going to do is a whole lot of algebra. So we're using this expression, r of delta t equals yb minus y of a over b minus a. That's really just slope formula. It's the way we were laying out all these calculations before, but we want to get this to just depend on the delta t. So I wanted to look carefully at the interval and, why a is 25 minus delta t and why b is 25 plus delta t. So here's our interval a to b, right? a, b. It's centered at 25. So with the new definition of delta t that we made as being half of the time interval instead of the entire time interval, so b means I'm going to be at 25, and I'm going to go over delta t, and I'm going to have 25 plus delta t, and a is the other endpoint of the interval. So I'm going to go back delta t, so I'm going to have 25 minus delta t. So the interval that I'm going to be dealing with is actually 25 minus delta t to 25 plus delta t. That's actually my interval that I'm doing. And by not specifying exactly what it is, I can then manipulate the delta t. So again, be aware that I changed the meaning of delta t. That's because in my original, more standard meaning of delta t was the entire length of the interval. But that would mean we'd have delta t over 2 here, and it would just make this substitution in the math just a lot uglier. So I'm doing that as a simplification. So one of the nice things about mathematics is you can do many different approaches and still come up with the same result. So if you really wanted to, you could develop this whole thing using 25 plus delta t over 2, 25 minus delta t over 2. You're going to end up with the same result because it's all consistent. All right, so what we're doing is we are doing this. We are in the expression for r of delta t, so this is going to be part A. We are substituting the expressions for a and b, meaning these two expressions, in terms of delta t. So those are in terms of delta t. All right, so in other words, I'm going to take this 25 plus delta t that was the b, we're going to put it there. This 25 minus delta t, that's the a, we're going to put it there. We're going to put them down there as well. So let's see what we end up with. We end up with r of delta t equals y of 25 plus delta t minus y of 25 minus delta t over, now our b is 25 plus delta t, and our a is 25 minus delta t. But since I'm substituting this value with a minus sign into this expression that had a minus sign ahead of it, I need to make sure that I have these in parentheses. So the second pair has to be in parentheses. That could cause you problems if you don't do that. Then it's nice to put the first pair in parentheses just to complete the symmetry, but you don't have to. The important one is the second one. All right, so that's our starting point. Now look, with part A, and this is true of all the subsequent parts as well, if you weren't sure how to start this, and now you can see how to start it, then shut the video off and try to correct what you have from there or continue from where you are there. All right, so let's see what else it has us doing here. So it says, use the expression for y of t to obtain an ungainly expression for r of delta t. So I wonder if we want to sort of simplify this one a little bit first before we do that. So we're going to say that this equals y of 25 plus delta t minus y of 25 minus delta t. Notice I've put the larger value 25 plus delta t first. And now in the denominator, the 25s cancel out. But the delta t, since I have minus negative delta t, I really have 2 delta t in the denominator. Now this makes sense because my time interval, since I called delta t half of the time interval now, that means that the time interval is 2 delta t. This time from a to b is 2 delta t. So that changed my denominator, that redefinition of delta t. It actually simplifies things. All right, so now we're going to do this. We're going to use the expression for y of t. Oh, so what was that expression for y of t? It was y of t, let's see, where do I want to write this? Yeah, I guess I'll write it here. Y of t equals 120,000 minus 1.17 t cubed. Now, by the way, when I write like this, all right, you always want to write complete sentences. A equals B. A equals B. If you copy down a line, this is actually a mathematical accepted convention. If I copy down a line, but I don't copy the left-hand side of the equation, it is assumed that the left-hand side of the equation stays the same. So it's like putting quotation marks in like a list in English. So if you don't copy anything down, then it stays the same. Now here I've sort of interrupted my flow. I've written something different. So if I want to rewrite now, I have to write the r of delta t again. I try to always keep complete sentences when you are writing mathematics. All right, so I'm going to use that expression for y of t to obtain an expression for r of delta t that depends only on delta t. So what does that mean? I'm going to take this y of 25 plus delta t, and instead of saying y of 25 plus delta t, I'm now going to say 120,000 minus 1.17 times, my t is actually a, 25 plus delta t, so 25 plus delta t cubed. And then I have minus, and then I want to do y of 25 minus delta t using the same y again. So again, 120,000 minus 1.17 times 25 plus delta t cubed, and my denominator, see I'm writing a complete sentence, is 2 delta t. But what am I missing? It's really crucial that when we substitute this expression into this expression with a minus in front, we need parentheses here. So losing those parentheses would cause a catastrophic failure. Now, it's nice to put parentheses over here again, but we don't have to. They're not functional, but they are sort of suggestive in terms of like this is y of 25 plus delta t, this is y of 25 minus delta t. These, and a minus sign in between them. All right? So, say that's ungainly. That expression is quite ungainly. Yes, ungainly. All right, so now we're going to do in the next video, we're going to cancel any like terms. And again, you should proceed from here. If you haven't gotten this yet, if you haven't done this yet, and you weren't sure how to start, you proceed from here. You cube this out. Here's a formula you can use. Cube these things out, do the distributive property, do algebra until your heart breaks, and do this. Cancel like terms and see if you can simplify as much as possible. All right, but I'll reveal that all in the next video in case you're stuck.